Do you still use these train tickets? Now, admittedly, most of them aren't paper anymore because they prefer to issue them electronically. They're on your phone. But train tickets are a really good example of time being of the essence. You see, as far as we're concerned, the performance of the train service is not of the essence for the train company. So if you're delayed, I spent 9 hours getting from Edinburgh to Manchester not so long ago, you get a certain proportion of your train ticket fare back. In my case, I was delayed for 6 hours. I had 2 friends come and pick me up at different parts of the journey, involving about 4 hours of them driving, and yet I get 20 quid, the cost of my ticket back. I don't get my day back. I don't get their mileage back. I don't get the cost of the drinks and everything else we had to buy en route back. Nope. I'm entitled under the train passenger charter that exists in the UK to a refund of part of my fare, depending on how delayed I am. However, I happen to know that if I have an advance ticket for a specific train at a specific time from a specific station and I don't arrive in time, then my ticket becomes useless. It's paper. It was very expensive paper. It may be 200 quid's worth of very expensive paper, but my performance by turning up for that very specific train is of the essence. So there's criticality on my part, but not on their part. Now, at the moment, in 2023, trains from the Northwest to London in the UK, well, they're a bit dicey. Not all the trains are running. A lot of direct trains from my local station to London don't exist anymore, and they're often cancelled or postponed. So they say you can catch a later train. But what if I need to get there for a meeting, to run a workshop, to deliver a talk, to give someone legal advice or attend a conference? It's not their fault. It's not their responsibility. However, my responsibility, as set out in the National Rail Conditions of Carriage, which we refer to on the back of these, is quite significant. I have to make sure I have the right ticket, I've got on the right train, I don't take too much luggage, I don't put my feet on the train, I don't give my ticket to somebody else. I have to make sure that I don't accidentally get on the wrong train because then it's my fault. I don't sit in the wrong seat because then it's my fault. I don't sit in the wrong class of carriage because then it's my fault. All sorts of things. There's a massive imbalance. Now, you may find that you come across a conductor on a train who's lenient, or you may find one who's a real stickler for you doing exactly the right thing. It may be that you've booked luxury of luxuries, a first class ticket, a first class compartment. But if all the trains are running late, you may find that pretty much anyone's allowed to sit anywhere. They cancel all your reservations and you're lucky if you can get a seat. Or, as I had to do just before lockdown, stand for 5 hours by a toilet on a crowded train all the way to London, arriving at 1 o'clock in the morning, not the finest hour of the rail services in the UK. So in the UK, we find that our performance is often of the essence, but the rail companies, their responsibility is merely to meet their contractual and regulatory obligations, and those are as loose as they possibly can be while still pretending to run a train service. So be careful. It doesn't say on an advance ticket that time is of the essence because, well, let's face it, that's jargon. But it does say if you fail to turn up, you may not travel. So be careful. Where's the balance in your contracts? Whose performance should really be critical? And is time that critical? Or is it flexible? Is there a little bit of leeway, a little bit of wriggle room? Think carefully about adopting jargon like time of the essence. If you don't really mean it and you don't really understand the implications, your contracts should safeguard yourself, your clients and your suppliers, but you shouldn't annoy everybody because they're just not balanced.